Shalom. Shalom, King. Shalom, shalom, shalom. How you feeling?
Shalom, I'm all right.
How you doing? Fun. More praise to Yahweh Shem Shah. Back at it with another live, King. Another live. All right, this brother's Abba Yala.
Brother Tazama,
You muted, King.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can't. Your sound bugging. Can't hear you. But Khan, I'd like to give our praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Back at it another week, right? Q&A questions. If we can get to your questions last week, Lord willing, you can throw those questions on the comment board. Get to your question, answer your question in honesty, meekness, and sincerity. Shalom Don Israel. All right. Lord willing, everybody's having a mighty week through the spirit. Everybody sees all the things going on in the earth, right? Everybody sees all the prophecy, right? Declaring the prophecy. Shalom Ezriela, Yasha Allah, right? We seeing these things going on in the world, right? And we need to declare this as the watchmen of the Lord. Also answer any questions anybody may have about what's going on as well, regarding Gaza, who's with who, the alliances, what they seen on the earth, man. Right, let me get this precept.
You hear me?
All right, D Vash Branch, Shalom, Shalom.
You able to hear me, King?
Let me get this precept real quick. We got to declare these things. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. And I'm gonna start at verse. Number 1. All right. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he would say unto me and what I should answer when I am reproved. Right. So we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch these things and see what the Lord says to us. We're gonna see the solar eclipse that happened last Shabbat. Right. If people don't know about that, there was a solar eclipse that happened last Shabbat while all hell was breaking loose in the earth. Blood moons before that. So this is what it means when the Lord is declaring these things unto us, and we're gonna watch these different things. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. And we're going to make it plain upon tables, right? We're not going to do an in-depth look. We're going to make it plain. You see the prophecies come to pass, right? You see the solar eclipse happening. You know what the Lord said in Matthew 24. Hey, in Luke 21, you got to look up, man, to that Most High. Because guess what? Right? The salvation cometh nigh. All right. Oh, okay, Khan. The brother said you can hear him on the count of or Khan. I can't hear this brother. Okay, Khan. All right, Khan. He can come. All right, Khan. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, I should be able to hear him. Okay, the water Don Israel. I'm coming back in a minute. All right. Let me get the book of Nahum, chapter 2. Because as the watchmen, as the prophets, right, as the people, as the brothers are out there building, you have to have exhortation. That's why Haggai always sent out to our forefathers that was laying down the temple of the Lord, that was building up the temple of the Lord. Why? Because of what? You don't want them to get slothful. We see all hell breaking loose. It's not the time to, drift off and do what you want to do on the earth, man. Drift off back into the world, get distracted with your day-to-day lives. That's how Satan want to distract you, is by what? Getting you distracted. But guess what? This is what he said, right? This is Nahum. Let me like Haggai, chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. Then spake Haggai, right? Then spake Haggai, the Lord's messenger, and the Lord's message unto the people, saying what? I am with you, saith the Lord. Right? And the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and the spirit of all the remnant of the people. And they came and did work in the house of the Lord, in the house of the Lord of the host of their God, right? So guess what? They got stirred up to continue doing the work of the Lord. And that's our job, is to continue stirring up Israel to do the work of the Lord with these live streams. So if you got any questions, right, put up post on the comment board. If not, we're gonna keep rolling with the events that's happening on the earth. Right? All right, we're gonna keep rolling with these different things. We're gonna keep declaring the words of the Most High. We don't care how people may feel about it, right? And all this means is that prophecies come to pass. We have to give it up for the Most High, right? Because all these prophecies are coming to pass, right? It says, D-Vash Branch, doesn't the new moon override the Sabbath when it falls on Friday? If so, when is the day of rest? So the new moon is a Sabbath, right? You have your weekly Sabbath, but the new moon is a high Sabbath. The new moon is a Sabbath, essentially, right? Let me get this book, right? Because even when you deal with the Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of Trumpets is a new moon, but it's also a Sabbath, but it's also a feast day. So you're keeping the Sabbath when you're keeping the new moon as well, because it's also a Sabbath today. Right? Let me get this book in Leviticus, chapter 23. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. All right. And verse number 1. And it says, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and saying to them concerning the feast of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest. A holy convocation, you shall do no work therein. It is a Sabbath to the Lord in all your dwelling. Right? These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which you shall proclaim in their season. So we know you have a weekly Sabbath, a day of rest unto the Lord. All right, let me jump to verse number 24, talking about the trumpets, right? The new moon, the memorial blowing the trumpets. And it says what? Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, you shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial blowing trumpets and holy convocations. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So only difference about this Sabbath, right, which is being the new moon, is that you can cook on that. You can cook on that day, but you're still commanded to do no work. You're still commanded not to buy or sell on that day, but you can cook on the new moons, right? But they're just Sabbath. It's still a Sabbath day, right? It's not a Sabbath, and then you have a new moon. The new moon is a Sabbath day. It's just a high Sabbath where you're allowed to cook on that day. All right, that's a good question. All right, get the brother back in here. All right, comment board. Okay, Con. That's a good question. All right. Any more questions? Just throw it on the comment board. Now we're gonna get right back into it. All right, we'll get right back into it. All right, because like I said, we're commanded to see these things come to pass. I was gonna get the book of Ezekiel, right, chapter 33. All right, actually go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Let's see what the Lord said in 2nd Ezra chapter 9 about this war, because it's not gonna die down. People want it to die down. People want to say, well, the Lord may have it die down, just like the something 19, right? The poison 19, right? It went up and went down. Everybody thought, when George Floyd kind of got, persecuted by Esau, now all hell was going to break loose, right? But hey, the Most High may have it die back down. You never know. But this right here, the Most High may have this die back down. But through the spirit of discernment, we can tell this is going to be something much bigger, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in self. So when you're measuring something and something is growing, right, then what? And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I've told thee before, right? We see these signs pass. We just seen the sun turn as black as sackcloth. We've seen these things. The moon becoming bloodshot red, right? And it says what? Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which you made, and the Most High is going to start visiting the world. And he's not going to come back as a man. Some people think the Most High is going to come back, what the brother Naquan said, with a suit and tie. He's going to kind of shake hands. Going to have two angels watching over his back. They got the little thing in their ear. No, man, the Most High is going to visit the world. How is he going to visit the world? With the elements, with the things that he created. That's the things he's going to destroy Esau with. The Most High is not pulling up in a limousine and he's visiting the earth and all the nations gathered together at that round table and they got the Most High sitting there. That's not how that's going to happen. The Most High is, guess what? He's touching the earth through prophecy. He's touching the earth through earthquakes, uproars of the people in the world. These are different signs showing the Lord's coming back. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. These days was from the beginning of time. These days was declared before Genesis 1 and 1. Right? I'm going to get that in Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 10. Right? You just coming in, like I said, you can put the comments on the comment board. Right? You can put the comments on the comment board with the questions. Right? For now, we're going to keep rolling through these things.
You can hear me, King?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Khan.
I can hear you.
Shalom.
Shalom, Malak. Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Just kind of going to prophecy, right? Into people want to start putting comments on the comment board, kind of just get into the things going on, man. If you got a precept, we can bring it out. But I just want to get this in Isaiah 46:10, kind of showing the Most High is going to bring these things back on earth. It's Isaiah chapter 46 and verse number 10. And it says, declaring the end from the beginning and the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So these things that the Lord talked about was from the beginning of the world, was from the beginning of time. Right? You have the Lord being prophesied to come back, right? During the time of Genesis, man. Right? Enoch prophesied about the Lord coming with 10,000 of his saints. So now we've seen these things come to pass. We're able to see these things on the earth, right? In first person, man. And our forefathers long to see these different things. So while we're here, like I said, we got to watch what's going on. You got it, King.
Khan. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and verse number. I'm going to start at verse 17. I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. So the Lord said, blessed is our eyes, for they see. What do we see? And we see everything that the prophets have prophesied. We see everything that Daniel has spoken of. We're seeing everything that Esdras has spoken of. We're seeing of everything that Yahweh Shah has spoken of. But these men, they wrote these things down, but never seen them. They only seen them in a vision. But guess what? You're seeing these things play out on the earth, man. And a lot of people, they say, well, it don't really excite me like that. Well, what's the significance about this Hamas versus Israel, Palestine? Well, that's over there. What does that have to really do with me? Well, hold on. You're seeing many men desire to see what you see, man. The rumors of war. I was thinking about that last week. We were literally seeing a rumor. We were literally seeing Matthew chapter 24 and 7 arise. Literally play out on the earth. But guess what? Certain people, it don't interest them. Let me read on. It says, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see. So it says key words, prophets and righteous men. So the righteous men and women of the Lord, they're going to be wanting to see the end time events. The prophecies come out on the earth. Now, if you don't want to see that, that means you're a part of the wicked. If it don't take no toll on you, if you're not affected by it, if it's just, well, that is what it is, you're wicked. It is what it is. Because the Lord said many prophets and righteous men. Abraham, Isaac, right? Jacob, Joseph, Esdras, Daniel, Jeremiah, Noah, Solomon. It says what? And have not seen them. And to hear those things which ye hear and have not heard them. But guess what? You get the chance to do it, but you don't take advantage. So this is what's going on in the last days, man. And it's a lot of other spiritual activity going on. See, the thing with these prophecies, with the nations, what comes with it is going to be spirit wickedness increasing. More spirits on the earth. Demons increasing. So while you have those things going on, you have things going on within the nation of Israel, man. You have demons on the rise. Demons increasing. All hell breaking loose on all levels through the spirit. But you have some.
And I was going to pull this up. Right. Let me pull this up real quick. Right. Let's see what's going on with this. Oh, you can see this.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, man. I mean, all I see is prophecy. It's like all you see is just prophecy right now. You got earthquakes here. Let's get that real quick. All right. You just got earthquakes. They don't stop. You got a country got hit with an earthquake 3 times in 1 week. If anybody knows what country it was, you got to post on the comment board. Starts with an A. You know what I'm talking about, Tazima? God. Starts with an A. If you know that country that got hit with an earthquake 3 times in 1 week, I mean, just got backhanded by the Most High 3 times in a row in 1 week, put it on the comment board. It starts with an A. All right, this is Luke chapter 21, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. I mean, this one was in California. You got another one in Mexico, right? And it says, and in diverse places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs there should be from heaven, man. And that's what we see in is great signs from the Most High, right? I mean, look at this. You got people surrounding that. They know this place is the devil. They know this place is done for. All you got is this, the media keep pushing out, them Amalekites, right, over there in the land of Israel, just them getting persecuted, not knowing them Amalekites, they doing 300 times worse. And now they know that. And now Elon Musk got the X, right? The Twitter, they posting all of these things, man, graphic videos and all. So there is no just because nobody's watching the local news no more. They know they're not posting everything. You got people with social media, and this is the result. So you can hear it.
God.
Hey, and they all chanting, man. Right? They waving they dang flag over the dang US embassy. Right? They see that? Yo, yeah, this place about to go. Yeah, this place about to go. We seeing these things, man. And this, let me go back real quick. Right. And you got Sleepy Joe still asking to send money over there to you. Hey, let me get a precept real quick. This is the book of Isaiah. Is there any questions on the comment board? Make sure ain't no questions. All right, brother had a question real quick. We can pull that back up soon. And I answered the DVAS branch. She had posted this question. I answered that one. We can tackle this one here.
God. It says, Shalom, kings. I have a question. How would you go into the different heathen nations and how to distinguish them? Okay, let's go to Genesis 10 and 1. Right, let's go to Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. So obviously you have multiple nations are on the earth. All right, you had Noah, he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Out of his 3 sons comes from everybody on the earth. Now going into these different nations, who is who, you got a lot of historical books. All right, you got Babylon and Timbuktu. You have a lot of historical evidence, archaeological evidence. You have different books going into the different nations. You able to pull up the table of nations? But this Genesis 2 and 1. Now these are the generations of the son of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Japheth unto them were sons born after the flood. So he's going into the sons of Japheth, the sons of Ham. Then you had the Shemites. So we come from the nation of Israel comes from Shem when you go into the genealogy, when you read down. Now a lot of nations come out of Shem. Esau comes out of Shem. Ishmael comes out of Shem. Elam comes out of Shem. And linking them up modern day, we about to pull up a table of nations, going into, okay, boom, the Ishmaelites, they're the modern day Arabs. All right. The Moabites, guess what? They're the so-called Chinese men. And it's a lot. There's a lot that you could go into it. You chiefly want to go into the Bible first, read the genealogies, and then you want to go into the table of nations, go into certain prophecies that let you know who's who, so forth and so on.
This one good, King? Can y'all see this one clearly?
You gotta probably pull it up so I can't really see it.
You want me to zoom in?
Yeah, is that the one we have on the poster?
Oh,
board?
Okay, so you wanted that one. Okay, I thought you wanted all the nation. Let me see. No, it's not the one that we have on the board. Table of Nations. Let me see. Like we're all Esau and Edom and all of that.
God.
Let me see if I can find that because it automatically pulls up Noah. Let's see the founded nations. Oh, here we go. All right, come. You see this? You can see this? You can see this? Oops, stop. You can see this? Can you hear me?
God, you hear me?
Yeah, you on.
All right, come.
You can see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Right. So through the Spirit, you have the Hebrew tongue, the Lajwan Kadash, going into the different nations. You got Cush. Then you have them going into the modern day terms. So you have the 12 tribes of Israel that come from Yashar'ala. You have Edom, which is Adawam in the Hebrew, that's the so-called white man. You have Elam, which is Ayalam in the Hebrew. That's your so-called East Indians. You got the nation of Ashur, Aram, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Cush, Tazarium, or Mizraim, which are the so-called Egyptians, Phut, Canaan, Gomer, etc. Only thing with this list is, the son of Gomer and Magog. Those would be the Japhites. Those wouldn't be right there when it's talking about. It's more so talking about that region. That's why it says Turkey and Russia.
Right.
But when you go into the sons of Japheth, they were given the Isles of the Gentiles, which are your so-called Pacific Islanders, right? Which is your people of Fiji, Hawaii, Polynesians, etc. But this Genesis chapter 10 and verse 5. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, and their nations. So the Japheth was given the isles of the Gentiles. Those isles are talking about the islands of the Gentiles. That's why they inhabit these islands. You got something on that?
Right, they are the Isles of the Gentiles. Like the brother said. Yeah. What's the rock? I forgot his mother. She not Fiji. Are you talking? I'm talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I forgot where he was from, but yeah, I mean, the Isles of the Gentiles. You got the other nations, all descended from Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, but we can move on. All right, brother had another question. Also, does Deuteronomy 22, verse 38, 30 pertain to the rape situation mentioned in verses 25, 27, or can apply to Exodus 22 and 16? as well. Let's get it. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28. Does it pertain to the rape situation mentioned in verse 25 and 27? So it is okay. I know what you're saying now. Deuteronomy chapter 22. Let me start at verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and a man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is his matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Yeah, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, and the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her all the way. So he may not put her away all his days. A man should not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. So you're asking in Deuteronomy 20 and 30, does it pertain to rape mentioned in verse 25? So it can apply to Exodus 22 and 16 as well. So yeah, this is mainly just going off what it was just spoken about in Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 25. If I understand your question well, down to verse 27, right? Because in Exodus 22 and 16, right, it says, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall ensure he endow her to be his wife. Right? When you go into an entice, meaning, he kind of talked to her. He didn't lay hold on her. When you lay hold on something, it's more so in a forceful manner, right? This is talking about if a man come, in a proper spirit to an Eve, wants to betroth her, and then he lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Meaning you are responsible financially for your wife, right? You lay down with her, and it's consensual. In Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 25 all the way down is going more into a rape situation, in a manner that really pertains to that. So let's get an example of actually Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 28, right down to verse 29, right? When a damsel was forced, and this man wanted to marry her. All right, this is actually Genesis chapter 34 and verse 1. And Dinah, because he tried to pay a dowry to Jacob for forcing Dinah, right? And it says, and Dinah the daughter of Leah, which was bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince in the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. So when he took her, he laid hold on her. It's kind of moving in that same spirit, right? And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto him. Kindly to the damsel, and Shechem spake unto his father, Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Let me jump down to verse, right? Let me jump down to verse. Let me see, because he wanted to give her a dowry. Let me see what I want. Let me start at verse 9. Okay, verse 12. Start at verse 11. Shechem said unto her father and said unto brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what you shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much a dowry and gift, and I will give according as you shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. So Shechem, he was a Hamite that devoured Dinah. He wanted to kind of give her a dowry after he laid hold on her. But when you're reading Deuteronomy chapter 22, starting at 25 down to verse 30, is all moving in the context of rape. Exodus 22 and verse 16 is not. You got something on that, King?
But that's kind of plain, one instance is, one instance not.
Okay, come. I think we got another question. Shalom, Antonio. All praises. All right. Calm. But I ain't got no questions. Hop right back into this. All right, let me share my screen real quick. right. Let's see what's going on. I was going to get Isaiah chapter 15. Okay, so you see this man. Look at him. He asking for another 100. Now, I ain't gonna lie, King. They probably gave away about $3 trillion already to the Ukraine. Like how many every morning I wake up is $100 billion is going out.
Yeah.
Every morning I wake up, it's just $100 billion just donated. Jay can't get nothing. Now you see why these damn Edomites, they mad at him, man. Because he's not even giving to Edomites, not even helping each other. You know what I'm saying? You got this Esau here strung out on just different things out here, and another Edomite who they look to, who they voted for support, ain't helping them. All praises to the Most High. This Isaiah chapter 21 just keeps sending money away. Right? It's Isaiah chapter 19. Let me start at verse 14. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Meaning, the Most High had put a spirit on the leaders of this country to just make every wrong decision. I mean, every decision is just wrong. Every decision was made to push them backwards, because the Most High is destroying this kingdom, man. Right? They're erring like a drunk man. Right? You know what happens when you start getting, you start feeling the wine, you start feeling a strong drink, you start to stumble. Right? You can't walk straight. You're making bad decisions. Right? And that's what this man, Sloppy Joe, is doing. Right? Let's see. Got a different rate. You got look at this. All right, let me know if there's a question on the comment board, King. I can take this off.
Yeah.
Right, it says, "Rage and fury spreads across Mid-East, triggering alarm for U.S. allies and threatening to widen the conflict." Right, and they're widening the conflict. The Most High is opening them gates for war. Look at this in Nahum. The Most High said, "Her gates shall be wide open." The Most High is widening the conflict. All right, get this, and you got it. It's Nahum chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 15. Actually, let me start at verse Nahum chapter 3 and verse 15. Actually, let me start at verse 13. And it says, "Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women." And that's literally what's going on in the so-called U.S. Army. It's damn near 100% women, or men that want to be women. The Most High have said the people in the midst of thee are women. Right? At one point in time, the army used to be just men of war. Now you got different women. Right? And it says, "The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thy enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars." And you see the bars, the protection of America. Right? You see these things widening, man. Right? Just in an analogy of a whorish woman. Her gates are set wide open. All right, but you got it, King. You got a precept.
I want to bring this out in second address. Right, that's right. A harlot, she's gonna open her quiver to every arrow that comes in. That's how Babylon the Great is, man. They're opening up, and everything is all of these spirits of war, right? Rebellion, riots, conflict. These things are going straight in. All right? And there's no turning back. This second address, chapter 16, and verse number 1, second address 16 and 1. "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sackcloth and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand." So Babylon has to be sorry. Why? Because the destruction of Babylon, hey, guess what? It's at hand, man. It's this place is coming to an end. You living in the end of an empire. The end of every great empire has fallen and it has to fall. Right? That's Iraq chapter 10. Let me get that real fast. Right, this is Iraq chapter 10 and verse number it's Iraq chapter 10 and verse number 12. I'm gonna start at verse 8. It's like it's Iraq 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So guess what? The kingdom has been translated from one people to another. That's what's gonna happen, man. The kingdom of Babylon, the great America, is gonna be translated to the kingdom of Yahushua, man. To the Lord's kingdom. So guess what? All of these plagues is sent at America because its destruction is at hand. And you seeing it with your very own eyes. Reading on 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse number 3. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? So no man could drive these plagues away because they already sent out. They're going to infiltrate. It's going to go in. It is what it is. You got it. You're on mute.
And I pulled up a few more articles. All right, let me see. All right, hold on. Before I do that, Brother Jay has a question. Oh, you got it, King.
Khan, Shalom, brothers. Could y'all break down Ezekiel 19, like the overall concept of it? Let's go to it. Ezekiel chapter 19. All right, let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 19. All right, let's go to Ezekiel 19 and verse number 1. Moreover, take thou up a lamentation for the princes of Israel. Now, the book of Ezekiel deals with riddles, right? Allegories, similitudes. All right. So when you read Ezekiel, for example, Ezekiel 17, let's go to that. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 17 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable into the house of Israel. So Ezekiel deals with a lot of riddles, parables, allegories. And when you read Ezekiel chapter 19, it's going into a parable, a riddle, going into how the downfall of the kingdom of Judah fell. And we're going to see that as we break it down. So read Isaiah chapter 19 and verse number 1. Moreover, take thou up a lamentation for the princes of Israel, and say, what is thy mother? A lioness. She lay down among lions. She nourished her whelps among the lions. See that? So what is the mother that it's talking about? What is thy mother? But guess what? The land is the mother, Jerusalem, right? Israel. Let's go to that in the book of Galatians. Chapter 4. Slacking. Right, it's the book of Galatians, chapter 4. Galatians chapter 4 and verse number 26. Right, Galatians 4 and 26. And it reads, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. Right, so that's plain Jerusalem, Israel, that's the mother. We're saying, what is thy mother? It's talking about the land. It's not talking about somebody's mom. All right, it's not talking about, your great grandmother. Let's get another precept. Let's go to Baruch. All right, let's go to the book of Baruch. Right, it's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse number. Where I want. So I can bear with me. Slacky, that might not be what I want. Leave this in 4. Okay. It is Baruch chapter 4 and verse number 8. And it reads, Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that hath brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you. For when she saw the wrath of God coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, God hath brought upon me great mourning. See that? So when you read Ezekiel 19:1, it says what? Take up this mourning, this lamentation. All right. So guess what? Jerusalem has nourished us. What does a mother do? A mother, she nourishes you. She takes care of you, right? She's, feminine towards you. She gives that nurture role. That's what a mom does. So that's just the first part, going into Ezekiel chapter 19. So let's go back to it. All right. Let's go back to it.
Got some points too when you're done.
You said what?
I said I got some points too when you're done.
Kind you got a precept on that? You got it.
Con. For Ezekiel, kind of, yeah. Con, yeah. It's Ezekiel 19. Yeah, you already broke down one. Yeah, I mean, it's talking about your mothers, right? The land, Jerusalem. All right. Jump down a little bit because this can be a breakdown for like 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to touch on some key points a little bit, right? Ezekiel chapter 19 and verse 3. And it says she brought up one of her whelps, it became a young lion and learned to catch the prey and devoured men. The nations also heard of him, and he was taken in their pit, and they brought him with chains unto the land of Egypt. So when you're reading Ezekiel chapter 19, like the brother said, is going into Jerusalem, right? That's what the mother is talking about, the land, right? But it's going to specifically the Babylonian siege that happened on Jerusalem and our kings being taken away, right? So I'm gonna read verse 3 again, and it says, and she brought up one of their whelps, and it became a young lion and learned to catch and prey and devour men. When you go into that man, it's Jehoahaz, right? Taken into Egypt, right? He was the young lion that was taken in chains, right? You go to 2 Kings chapter 23 and verse 33. Let me get that just real quick. It's specifically really talking about two people, and then Yahweh shot at the end, right? You got Jehoahaz. All right, this 2 Kings chapter 23. Start at verse 33. And it says, and Pharaoh Necho put him into the bands at Riflah, right? King of Egypt, in the hand of Hamath, that he may not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah's father, and turned his name to Jehoiakim, and took Jehoahaz away. And he came to Egypt and died there. That was that young lion, right? And Jehoiakim gave the silver and the gold of Pharaoh, but he taxed the land to give the money according to the commandment of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and the gold of the people of the land, and everyone according to his taxation gave it to Pharaoh Necho. So he was one of those young lions. Now, the second young lion, you can also read about that in Jeremiah 22 and verse 11 as well. The second young lion, we jump down to verse 5. Now, when she had saw that she had waited, her hope was lost. Then she took another one of her whelps and made him a lion who was in his place. That was Jehoiakim, right? And it says, and waited of her whelps and made him a young lion, went down, and he went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion and learned to catch and prey and devour men, right? So you can go to 2 Chronicles 36 and 9 real quick. I'm gonna pull that up, right? Rapid precepts, because you can get like a few precepts for these. Right, Second Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 9. And Jehoiachin was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. All right, and when the year was expired, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the goodly vessels of the house of the Lord, and made Zedekiah his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem. So soon he was taken away as well. And when you read Ezekiel chapter 19 and verse 7, right, it goes into that. Right, so I'm gonna jump back down to verse 7, Ezekiel 19:7. And he knew their desolate palaces, and he laid waste their cities, and the land was desolate in the fullness thereof by the noise of his roaring. Then the nation set against him on every side from provinces and spread their net over him, and he was taken in their pit. We just read that Jehoiakim was taken in their pit, right? And they put him in ward and chains and brought him to the king of Babylon. They brought him into the holes that his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of Israel, right? And you can read about that in 2 Kings 24 and verse 8 down to verse 15, right? If I'm kind of going fast, you can rewind the video, right? And you kind of jot down on precepts, right? And you read down a verse. Let me see. Kind of want to get this last one, because that's just sum it up. It's just Israel, like the brother said, Israel just going into slavery right under the Babylonians, right? You had two major kings that was a part of this during this time period. We read 2 Kings, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 19, and I'm gonna start at verse 12 to prove that. But she was plucked up in fury, she was cast down to the ground, and the east wind dried up her fruit. That east wind we read throughout the scriptures represents destruction, right? Nebuchadnezzar, he's that east wind. The Babylonians came in, right? And it says, dried up her fruit, her strong rods were broken and withered, and the fire consumed them, right? Our top men were plucked up and destroyed, right, through the Babylonian siege, right? In verse 13, and now she is planted in the wilderness in a dry and thirsty ground, meaning when it's a dry and thirsty ground, it's not your homeland, right? You're in the wilderness. You're in a place that don't belong to you, right? There's no life, right? And it says, verse 14, and fire is going out of her rod of her branches, which she have devoured her fruit, so that she have no strong rod to be accepted to rule. This is a lamentation and for a lamentation, right? But yeah, kind of just going into Israel, being taken into captivity. Did you have anything else on that, King?
I got a precept.
No.
It's First Esdras chapter 1 and verse. You can read First Esdras 1 and 34 on down to get the full summary of Ezekiel 19. It says, and the people took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and made him king instead of Josiah his father. When he was 23 years old, he reigned in Judea and in Jerusalem 3 months. And then the king of Egypt deposed him from reigning in Jerusalem. And he set a tax upon the land of 100 talents of silver and 1 talent of gold. The king of Egypt also made Jehoiakim his brother king of Judah and Jerusalem. And he bound Jehoiakim and the nobles, but Zacharias his brother he apprehended and brought him out of Egypt. 25-year-old was Jehoiakim when he was made king in the land of Judah and Jerusalem, and he did evil before the Lord. So you're reading about the two young lions, like whelps, Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim, which is kind of similar when you read Ezekiel chapter 17. Reading on. Wherefore against them Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, came up and bound him with a chain of brass and carried him into Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar took of the holy vessels of the Lord and carried them away and set them in his own temple at Babylon. Right? So that was just to add into the parable in Ezekiel chapter 19.
Calm. And it says, and what does the boiling pot represent in Ezekiel 24? Let's go to it. This is Ezekiel chapter 24 and verse 4. So you're going to see a pattern like we brought out last week when you see Ezekiel doing things, right? Or, Isaiah kind of doing things after the Lord, this guy done speak with them. It usually represents our people. Right, usually represents what's about to happen, but it usually pertains to our people, what the Lord is actually going to do to our people, And the Lord used Isaiah and Ezekiel to kind of demonstrate that on a smaller scale. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 24. Now I start at verse 4. Right, and it says, let me start verse 3. And utter a parable. So that, remember, this is a parable unto the rebellious house, and saying to them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it. Gather the pieces thereof into it, even the good, every good piece, the thigh and the shoulder, fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock and burn it, also the bones under it, and make it boil well, and let him see the bones of it therein. So he's telling Ezekiel to cook something up, right? Cook it up well, spice it, put the fire under it, right? Put it in a pot, right? Put all the meat in it so the meat can burn. Right, verse 6. Wherefore, thus saith the Lord God, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein. So that pot represents a thing where all the scum and all the sins are going to be in that pot. And the Lord said, woe to that city, woe to that nation whose scum is actually in that pot. Right? Because what is in that pot is going to happen? It's going to burn. It's going to burn up. Right? Read it on. And the scum is not going out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let not lot fall upon it. For her blood is in the midst of her. She shall sit upon the top of a rock. She poured it upon the ground to cover with dust. That it may cause fury to come up to take vengeance. I might set the blood upon the top of a rock, that it should not be covered. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, woe to the bloody city. I will even make the pile for fire great. Heap on wood, kindle the fire, consume the flesh, and spice it well, and let the bones be burnt. Then set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot and may burn, that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, and that the scum of it may be consumed. So the Most High is basically, for a parable for Israel, that the Most High is going to come against Israel in his hot fire. He's going to destroy Israel, right? And that's what that represents. Verse 12, she have wearied herself with lies. Her great scum with not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in that fire. Talking about her Israel's sins. The Lord has to purge out Israel's sins with that fire, right? And it says, verse 13, in the filthiness is lewdness, because I have purged thee, and thou was not purged. Thou shalt not be purged from thy filthiness anymore, to have caused my fury to set upon thee. And you can even see this when the Lord's going to come back with nuclear fire to purge out the sins in the earth, right? The Lord was doing this to Israel at this time for her sins, right, by bringing other nations against them. But now the Lord's going to do that to Israel again with nuclear bombs. That's in 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9, right? But that's kind of what it's going into. It's just going into representation of Israel, and the Most High is going to burn Israel's sin up. All right. You got anything on that?
That's fine.
Got no more questions? Let's get back into it. All right. Con. Yeah, it says Biden warns Israel not to use their rage to repeat the same mistake, their error, their drunken man mistake the U.S. made after 9/11. So let's read about this mistake, right? Right. It says the recent attack by Hamas on Amalek is being considered by Amalek as its 9/11 moment. Is referred to by Hamas as the Al-Aqsa flood. I caution this will make, while you feel that rage, don't be consumed by it. After 9/11, we were enraged in the United States, right? They saw justice and got justice. We also made mistakes. He said, yeah, I mean, y'all lost a 20-year war that y'all start. The first mistake was y'all false flagged it. Nobody really came after you. We know the secret. The jig is up, right? The jig is up, right? You seen all types of, they called it back then so-called conspiracy videos. Everybody just knows it already. And then they got into that war, and you lose a 20-year war in Afghanistan for oil that y'all started. Y'all wanted their oil, and they beat y'all 20 years later. That was the mistake. And he sees it coming. If they destroy Gaza, America know they lose this war. Because look at him. Right? He knows. They know, right? You got Russia, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq. They are not Turkey. China said they're not going for that, right? And he knows what he's going to have to be dealing with, right? And it says, what does it say? Joe Biden visit came after hundreds of people were reportedly killed in an explosion at Gaza Strip hospital. Oh yeah, they bombed the hospital. You heard about that, King? They bombed the children. They bombed the children's hospital. They didn't put that on the news. Why do you think they so mad? They didn't put that on the news. All they doing is putting propaganda for Amalek because they know what Amalek owns and runs. But they bombed the whole hospital. These Ishmaelites are upset, boy. Right? Yeah. They know what they did was messed up. And these nations are sitting back watching, judging, and examining the matter diligently. And they can see who the great Satan really is. They see that veil start to push back a little bit. Ooh, hold on. I got a precept. You got it after that. They see that. They see that mask being unrevealed. They seeing that son of perdition, man. All right, this 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be falling away first, and that the man of sin may be revealed, the son of perdition. So the Lord said, don't expect anything to happen. Don't expect nothing to happen except there has to be a falling away. That man of perdition, that man of sin has to be revealed. And right now, you have these nations understanding who Babylon, who Esau, the so-called white man, really is, who these Amalekites really are. Hold on, let me show you something real quick. Right, U.S. Embassy chant. Let's see if I can find this. USA. Seen this on Twitter. You see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Come, look at this. Crowd heads towards the U.S. And we've been calling this place the devil, man. Right? In Baghdad, Iraq, chanting America is the devil. Let me read this precept again. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there become a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. And only Satan in this realm will exalt himself above God. Don't they bow down to Satan in his land? Don't they give their souls and their desires and their children and all their minds, their souls to Satan as if he were a God? But they really do it to the so-called white man. And it says, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right? And that's what America did. They're in all time. They started damn near almost every war. Right? They act like they're the Most High. And then this is the result of it. And that was today. This is the 18th, right? That was today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Babylon, huh? Okay, you got it.
Okay. Yeah, this Job chapter 20 and 27. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. That's what's happening, man. The heavens is gonna reveal everything is starting to come out. These nations, they've been knew it, but the Lord is raising up that spirit in them that not give a damn spirit and start calling things how it is, man. I was talking to this one, she's an Edomite at my job. Nevertheless, I believe she's Russian, but she's from over there. And I was asking her, well, how do you like America? Da 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 da. And she ain't want to really say it, but she said she don't really like America like that. And I'm like, I'm thinking about, I'm like, dang. I mean, hey, she don't. Hey, I told her. I told her to say. I said, hey, I don't like America neither. All right. So guess what, man? These nations, they hate America. They hate Babylon. They're against them. And that's what's gonna happen in prophecy. They're gonna get. Everybody's gonna turn on them, and they're gonna be by themselves. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 16. Let's go to the book of Revelation. Chapter 17, right? Revelation chapter 17 and 16. It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." So the 10 horns is, your 10 common markets, all right, of the EU. Nevertheless, they're gonna hate the whore. What is the whore? That's America, Babylon the Great, the mother of all harlots. And it says, "And hate the whore, and shall make her desolate, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And that's what's coming to Babylon. Not just the 10 horns, but you're gonna have Ishmael, you're gonna have Moab, Ammon. They're all gonna turn and hate the whore, which is America, for all of the abominations and fornication that she has committed with these nations.
Right. That's right. So let me get back into this. All right. And it says earlier, Sleepy Joe said that he'd been shown evidence by the Pentagon suggesting Israel wasn't responsible for the deadly blast at Gaza City Hospital. Well, that killed hundreds and threatened to plunge the region to. Who did it? Who accidentally threw that missile into the hospital that killed hundreds, right? In Gaza. They at war. The so-called white man is a liar. He said that they didn't. There's no evidence by the Pentagon suggesting Israel wasn't. What is fall out the sky? It is failed in the middle of conflict. A random missile just hit a hospital, and they don't know. Nobody knows who did it. Right. Nobody. It is hit a hospital, and Israel's like, well, it wasn't us. Remember, we was killing y'all over here. I don't know how that got over there. We nobody. They're not fools. Maybe if it was Jake would be like, I don't know, man. They not. Look, let me go to Psalms 58:3. Talking about there's no evidence that there is evidence. They're at war. We're talking about. It's Psalms chapter 58 in verse 3. They must think Esau is just so prideful. They think these Ishmaelites slow that they just gonna take any word for it. Well, yeah, there was no evidence. James, was no. All right, it's Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. That's like stealing a cookie out of a cookie jar. Your mom asks, who took the cookie? And you got it in your hand. And he was like, well, there's no evidence of me opening the cookie jar. I could have got this from the store. What are you talking about? The cookie jar is right there, and you got it. You know what you did, and they just still lying. You still lying, right? That's called pride, right? Let me get this last one real quick. All right, let me get this last article. All right, just to kind of top it off, right? Just to kind of top it off. Jordan cancels Biden summit after hundreds killed in Gaza hospital blast. See that? Said it. They're not stupid. Ishmael, they're not falling for the so-called white man's lies no more. We just read that they said there was no evidence, but they know there was evidence. That's why they don't want to meet with you, because you lie. You're a serpent, and they don't want no dealings with you because you are of your father, the devil. That's John 8:44. And guess what? They called them the devil, the great deceiver upon the earth. Right? Jordan has canceled a summit it was scheduled to host in Amman on Wednesday with United States President Joe Biden and the Egyptian and Palestinian leaders to discuss Gaza, right? To discuss how he's going to fix the situation. But it looks like he don't want to fix it no more. He said, y'all going to bomb babies? Well, let's bomb your babies. They bombing babies. But Jake get mad when we bring out Psalms 137:7. Because Psalms 137:7. They bombing babies. They are literally put in what we read in Ezekiel 24. They putting babies in a pot and lighting a fire, man. Right? But hold on. The Lord said we got something coming for their children. It's Psalms chapter 137. Let me start at verse 7. Happy, I'm sorry, verse 9 gets to the point. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. And Esau is so comfortable with taking Jake babies, sex trafficking them, bringing them to these underground layers under the earth, bombing babies out there in the middle, so-called Middle East. The Lord said it will be an honor to take an Edomite baby and to crush his head against the brick corner of a brick in 3-degree weather so the baby can feel it. The Lord said that. Because why? Because you have them bombing children's hospital, man. Right? But as we close this out. Right? Yeah, so God, they bombing themselves. They actually missed the missile was supposed to fly, but they accidentally hit their own hospital because there was no evidence. Yeah, man, this is madness upon the earth, man. Right? But Khan, in the world, you got so-called white men still lying, all hell breaking loose, nations clicking up, man. Right, as we answer questions, Lord willing, kind of got into the, see what's going on the earth as well. Right, continue watching. Are you got any last closing precepts, King?
I'll get one. This Revelation chapter 16. Revelation chapter 16-15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Like the brother said, it's a lot of current events going on in the earth. There's a lot of spiritual activity going on. Things getting real. Everything was already spiritual, but things getting a little bit more spiritual. Everything is spiritual. So there's a lot of high spiritual activity going on. We definitely want to be watching to the best of our ability and make sure we keeping our garments on and clean, lest we get caught out there with our pants pulled down. You don't want to get caught with your pants pulled down by the Lord.
Read this book in 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. 2 and verse 13. Mighty precept from Ahaziah. All right. It's 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 13. Go and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you. Right. So we should be praying that these things speed up, that there's few days upon the earth. I hate this kingdom. I sincerely hate this place. And I will never stop saying it. I hate this place. Lord willing, this place goes, man, tomorrow. But we know there's certain prophecies that have to happen. So we call upon Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right, to make the days few. Right. And it says, and that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. So let's keep watching. The kingdom is already prepared. Right. Keep praying that the elect is sealed every Sabbath. Right. One member of the elect is sealed every Sabbath, every day. And that this place go down, man, in flames quickly. So we just got to keep watching and declaring the prophecies, man. With that, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shah, right, Brother Zabayala,
Brother Tazamah,
right, and like that, we'd like to bid a mighty strong shalom.
Shalom.